The movie opens deep in the woods, where a terrified blonde girl is running for her life. She screams for help, her voice echoing through the trees. She keeps running, panic taking over, until suddenly she triggers a hidden booby trap. In an instant, she's yanked upward and left hanging upside down, helpless and trapped. As the girl's screams fade into the darkness of the forest, the story shifts to an empty highway. A couple drives quietly, far from the noise and chaos of the city. The silence between them is heavy. The man, known only as Driver, keeps his eyes fixed on the road, calm and unreadable. Beside him sits Betty, distant and uneasy. She talked about her hesitation leaving their place. As night started to fall, the driver decides to stop at a roadside motel to rest and stay for the night. While inside, he watches the news and learns about a missing girl. The report mentions a strange clue, a note left on a tree that reads, "Emma alive." Meanwhile, in another location, a group of men is busy loading furniture and appliances into a truck. Suddenly, a car carrying a family of 4 arrives. The men quickly notice them and alert each other. It becomes clear that these men are robbers, and the family that just arrived is the rightful owner of the house. As the father attempts to make a call, one of the robbers suddenly opens fire, riddling the entire family with bullets and killing them instantly. One member of the group tries to stop the shooter, but it's already too late. Frustrated and shaken by the reckless violence, they abandon the house and leave behind the stolen loot. Back to the couple, the driver asks Betty to step out and find something for dinner. They head to a nearby steakhouse recommended by the motel owner. After placing their order, the same group of robbers arrives. They take seats loudly, ordering drinks, their frustration clearly visible after their failed robbery. The group is led by a hardened man named Hogue. With him are his girlfriend Tamara, his brother Ethan, Denny, and a volatile and unpredictable man named Flynn. Their presence is aggressive and tense, especially because of Flynn's earlier actions. While the couple is eating, Flynn approaches their table. He begins speaking to them in a rude and disrespectful tone, mocking them openly. He continues pushing boundaries, testing how far he can go. The driver subtly reaches for a knife, but Betty stops him. Flynn notices this and mocks him further, saying he doesn't look like someone who knows how to fight. The driver doesn't respond. He doesn't argue or defend himself. He simply watches in silence, suppressing his growing anger. The tension builds until Hogue intervenes, ordering Flynn to leave them alone. Before walking away, Flynn issues a quiet but clear threat to the driver. Later that night, as the couple drives back along a dark, isolated road, the gang makes their move. A motorcycle suddenly appears and breaks the car window, which also hits the driver, causing it to lose control and crash. The two of them almost faint out. Flynn appears and drags them out of the wreckage while they slowly lose consciousness. Flynn proceeds to their hideout and brings the couple's car. Hogue sees him and confronts him angrily for his action, but Flynn insists it was a clean job and claims the couple must be wealthy, an easy way to recover from their earlier failed robbery. Meanwhile, Ethan brings the couple to an abandoned warehouse deep in the woods, far from any help. Inside, the driver is tied to a chair while Ethan begins interrogating him aggressively. But something feels off. The driver isn't scared. He isn't desperate. He sits calmly, breathing steadily, observing Ethan like he's studying him. Ethan threatens to kill Betty, but instead of panicking, she speaks to the driver in a calm, almost emotional tone, as if saying goodbye. The driver doesn't fully understand what she means. Then, Betty suddenly takes her own life. The driver erupts in rage. Using the moment of confusion, he breaks free from his restraints with ease. He quickly takes down Ethan and rushes to Betty, but it's too late. She's already gone. The driver warns Ethan, then surprisingly tosses him a knife. Ethan attacks, but the driver effortlessly avoids every strike as if he can predict each move. Within moments, the driver counterattacks and kills Ethan with shocking speed and precision. Just like that, the balance of power shifts. Meanwhile, Flynn begins searching the couple's car for valuables. As he opens the trunk and rummages through their belongings, he notices a small hole. Curious, he leans closer, and suddenly he sees a pair of eyes peeking. Startled, he discovers a girl inside. Flynn pulls her out while Tamara gets out to look outside at what's causing the noise. She helps Flynn, but the girl fights back and tries to escape while her hands are still tied. But before getting away, Flynn tackles and captures her again. Now they successfully take the girl inside their house. The girl is terrified and immediately asks about the driver, desperate to know if he's already dead. She pleads with them to run, warning them repeatedly about the danger they're in, but no one listens. Hogue asks Amber to call Ethan while Tamara continues to interrogate the girl. They ask for the name of the driver, but the girl insists that he doesn't have a name. Amber immediately comes back and informs her father that Ethan is not answering her call, but then the girl convinces them that he's already dead. So Hogue orders Denny and Tamara to go check on Ethan. The two of them drive fast to Ethan's whereabouts. When they arrive, something feels wrong. The place is dark and silent. As they search, Denny slips and falls. When he looks up, he's horrified to see Ethan's lifeless, blood-covered body. Nearby lies Betty's body as well. What they don't realize is that the driver is still there, hidden, silent, and waiting. At the house, Amber recognizes the rescued girl and talks to her father. She explains that she saw a reality show about a group of students who were murdered during a party, and reveals that the girl is Emma Ward, the missing survivor of that massacre. The truth finally becomes clear. The driver isn't just dangerous, he's the one responsible. The gang realizes too late that they didn't capture ordinary victims. They brought a monster into their own territory. Tamara and Denny carry Ethan's lifeless body, struggling under the weight as panic begins to settle in. Without wasting any time, they rush back to the hideout. The moment they arrive, they urgently inform Hogue about what happened to his brother. The news hits hard. Hogue's expression immediately changes. Shock turns into rage in an instant. The entire group gathers quickly, their earlier confidence now replaced with unease. They begin preparing themselves and bracing for whatever comes next. But in the middle of all the chaos, there's something they completely fail to realize. Hidden in plain sight, the driver has concealed himself within Ethan's corpse. Emma, seeing a brief opportunity, suddenly makes her move. She fights back against Hogue with surprising force, pushing him off balance, then quickly grabs a nearby lampshade and swings it hard to Flynn and catching him off guard. Without hesitation, she sprints toward the exit, but the gang reacts instantly, shouting and chasing after her. But Emma isn't just running from them. Her fear is deeper than that. She's not afraid of the gang, she's afraid of what the driver is capable of. As she reaches the door and swings it open, she suddenly freezes. In the distance, she sees him, the driver, standing still, watching. The sight alone is enough to break her resolve. Instead of running, she slowly backs away, her fear taking over. Somewhere nearby, the driver calmly cleans himself, removing any trace of what just happened. There's no panic in his movements, no urgency, only precision and control. Once finished, he retrieves his weapons from the wagon in his car, preparing for what comes next. Back at the hideout, the gang is doing the same. They arm themselves heavily, loading guns, checking bullets, and trying to regain some sense of control. Led by Hogue, they decide to take the fight outside and hunt the driver down before he can strike again. But what they don't realize is that they're already too late. Before they can even begin their hunt, the driver makes his move. Without warning, he captures Hogue and drags him away into the darkness. Almost immediately, a shotgun blast echoes through the area, followed by arrows flying in from unseen directions, throwing them into panic. The attack is sudden, precise, and completely disorienting. They fire back wildly, shooting into the darkness with no clear target, hoping to hit something, anything, but it's useless. Fear takes over as they retreat back inside the house, trying to regroup and protect themselves. But the driver isn't finished. As chaos unfolds, one of the cars suddenly explodes, nearly killing them all. The driver captures Hogue and begins torturing him slowly and methodically. There's no rush, no hesitation, only control. There is no emotion in his actions, only cold precision. Desperate to escape, Denny and Amber attempt to fix an old Jeep. Despite being badly injured, Denny manages to get it running. But just as hope appears, the driver strikes again. Without hesitation, he shoves Denny into the exposed engine, horribly mangling his face. Amber runs, trying to escape into the darkness, but the driver doesn't miss. With terrifying accuracy, he throws a scythe, impaling her. Flynn, Tamara, and Emma make their way into the garage, only to find Denny barely clinging to life. Flynn is ready to leave him behind, but Tamara refuses, insisting they can't just abandon him. With no time to argue, the four of them rush out of their hideout and speed into the night. Meanwhile, the driver is about to finish Amber, but when he notices that Emma's tracker is moving, he immediately leaves to follow them, sparing Amber's life. On the road, Emma urges Flynn to turn on the headlights. Just as he reaches for the switch, Amber suddenly stumbles into their path. There's no time to react. The car slams into her, and Flynn keeps driving. Inside the vehicle, everything begins to unravel. Confidence shatters into fear. Flynn, Tamara, Emma, and the dying Denny manage to escape. They stop at a nearby hospital, dropping Denny off before heading to another motel. For a moment, it feels like they've escaped. But that hope doesn't last. When Flynn uses the driver's credit card to pay for a room, the motel owner becomes suspicious and contacts the police. Meanwhile, without knowing what's coming next, the three of them calm down and freshen up, unaware that the driver has already been there, and now he's coming back. At the motel, chaos erupts again. The driver sneaks in and attacks Tamara in the shower, nearly killing her, but stops when he hears gunshots outside. Flynn has just shot the responding sheriff. Everything spirals out of control. They immediately prepare to leave, but then they find Tamara in the bathroom, strangled to death. In the confusion, Flynn is startled and accidentally shoots and kills her. Emma takes the chance to run, but Flynn chases her and corners her at gunpoint. Suddenly, the driver crashes into him. Emma grabs the gun and fires at the driver, but unfortunately she runs out of bullets at the worst possible moment. She flees into a nearby junkyard, but the driver follows quickly. In the darkness, the final confrontation begins. Emma fights back, striking him, but the driver keeps standing. As Emma is about to hit him again, the driver sees Flynn coming back and prepares to shoot them, but he quickly pushes Emma away and gets hit instead. The gunshot lands hard on the driver's chest, stopping him for a moment. Luckily for him, the bulletproof vest beneath his clothes absorbs most of the impact, leaving only minimal damage. As Flynn tries to fire again, the driver disarms him, and they engage in brutal hand-to-hand combat. Flynn is completely outmatched, but continues fighting desperately until he reaches a shotgun, only to be struck by Emma with a shovel. Emma grabs the shotgun and points it at the driver. For the first time, it seems like someone might actually stop him. She hesitates, then pulls the trigger. Nothing happens. She forgot to cock the gun. The driver watches her, and instead of attacking, he seems almost impressed. Calmly, he removes the tracking device implanted inside her, freeing her. It's not kindness, it's control. The hotel owner accidentally follows them and witnesses everything that happened. The driver first turns to Flynn and finishes him off. But unfortunately for the hotel owner, the driver is determined to leave no loose ends behind, and kills him as well. The next day, everything appears quiet again. At the hospital, Denny is barely alive. A doctor enters his room. But it's not a doctor, it's the driver. Disguised, calm, and completely in control, he finishes what he started. As he leaves, he passes Emma being wheeled through the hospital. For a brief moment, he reaches out and touches her arm. Not violently, not aggressively. Just a reminder. Then he walks away. Free. Unstopped. As if none of it ever happened. And no one is left who can stop him.